Hello, this is August 1st, 2010. This is the weekly Ichimoku analysis for the US stock market. Before we begin, let's go for our normal procedures. Let's go for our disclaimer. This disclaimer basically states that this is for educational purpose only. All charts are either in Thinkorswim or TradeStation. Here are my contact details. If you go to eiicapital.com, it's the Ichimoku website. You can find all the information you need there. You could also access our discussion boards, forums, and so forth. You could also follow us on Twitter under the username KumoTrader, and soon we're going to have Facebook too. Okay, let's jump straight into the markets. What we typically do is we look at the weekly ES S&P mini futures, and here they are. I'm going to zoom in because it's kind of hard to see the price action. And if you look, last week we had basically a doji week. The people that follow candlesticks basically went up, penetrated the Kijun-sen on a weekly time frame, but we closed down pretty much close to where we opened up. So last week was an uneventful week. If you look today, we're up on the ES mini futures. So that's kind of where we're at right now. If you look at the Kijun-sen, it's at 101, excuse me, 1109.75. So kind of looking to see exactly what happens here. If you look, the Kumo cloud is now gone. Bearish. Shikao is still in price. There's still a lot of conflict here. So basically, this is a sideways action as far as the weekly time frame is concerned. Let's go look at the daily time frame. If you look at the daily time frame, just what we expected, we're pretty much in the cloud. However, it looks like we may sit there and try to break out of the cloud. So the key level to watch here for the ES mini futures is 1126.69. Looks like basically once we penetrated the Kijun-sen, we came down here, pulled back for the Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen to cross. We went up, we're in the cloud, we pulled back to the Tenkan-sen. We've held that Tenkan-sen now, and the key is to see what happens. Since we hold that Tenkan-sen right there, most likely it's going to come all the way up to 1126, and at that point there's going to be decision-making time. It could go there, or it could just pretty much fall short right around here at 1120, which is the last pivot. We really don't know what's going to happen, but we got to wait and see what happens there. Let's go and look at the NASDAQ futures. The reason why we've been looking at NASDAQ is because NASDAQ's been leading on the bullish side every single time. If you look at the NASDAQ, pretty much the same thing. Doji week, we're right at the Kijun-sen. No event at all. If you look at the weekly time frame, this is still bullish compared to bearish that the S&P mini futures were. So this is still stronger bullish-wise compared to the S&P mini futures. Okay. However, it's consolidating on a weekly time frame. If you look at the daily time frame, we did hit over here on this one, our last pivot. It did penetrate the Kijun-sen. We went above it a little, and then we closed below it. So this one is a high chance of breaking the Kumo cloud a lot faster than the S&P mini futures. Levels to look out for on the NASDAQ futures are pretty much just 1895, and then also at the top of this cloud, which is 2011. So we don't know really what's going to happen. We got to wait and see. But most likely, if you're going to put on any bullish trades, I'll definitely do them on the NASDAQ-related stocks compared to the S&P. One other last thing we're going to look at, we've been kind of looking at some of the gold futures every so often, so we're going to look at gold today. If you look at gold, pretty much, we were looking for it to go right around to 1154 from Twitter, and it pretty much got there. Now we're expecting a pullback, which is pretty much is going to happen, and it's pretty much now closed above the Tenkan-sen. So this pretty much can go anywhere between the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen for the pullback, and we're kind of waiting to see if it gets to the Kijun-sen. If so, what happens? And that's pretty much around the 12-10-11, 12-10 level. Let's quickly look at the weekly time frame. Weekly time frames, you can look, it's still bullish intact. In fact, it got all the way down to the Tenkan-sen last week, came off it, bounced it, and if you look at it again this week, it's pretty much got the bottom and now bounced off it. So this support level of the Kijun-sen on the weekly is being very strong. You can see that we barely penetrated it. There's only one time we closed below it, and that was 2-1, 2010. Outside of that, we've never really closed below the Kijun-sen, so that's a key level to look for on a weekly time frame. If you have any questions, please contact us at EII Capital. And good luck trading, and just be careful on how you trade this week.